Happy
conversation. I'm
Happy Friday, Yuri. It's really exciting to be here.
I'm so you look always you look wonderful, and I'm so happy that you are streaming from your beautiful, gorgeous kitchen. This is where
Thank you. I've been living in this kitchen for several weeks now.
I'm actually discovering joy of cooking myself. Like,
Good.
being a great chef or anything like that, but I'm really enjoying right now cutting and chopping vegetables and cooking them up and opening these things up and smelling them and tasting all this freshness that I receive from this land. Before we begin, Tricia, I would like to introduce you, a dear friend of mine, first of all, and then not to mention an incredible knowledge of nutrition that comes with pretty much in every session that you speak. Also, you teach movement. Is that right?
I do, yes.
Trish, before we start with more questions and things, I'm always, first of all, I'm your author, an incredibly beautiful, easy to read, informational book, Healthy
Healthy dividends.
Uh,
Thank you, Yuri.
Amazon, is that right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Available on Amazon.
Available on Amazon, yes. Yes.
So everyone log in and go get this book, because you will make yourself a really big favor of learning how to eat healthy, and you make it so easy through beautiful examples. And before we go with more questions, I want to find out what inspired you to do what you do, to tell people more about nutrition and why you think this is important.
Well, early on, I was an overweight kid and I really struggled with that, and I didn't understand why, and I didn't want to be an overweight adult. And I decided to study nutrition because back in the 80s, the fat-free phenomenon was really popular, and I kind of fell into that and kind of didn't understand. I'm eating all these fat-free things. What's going on? How come I'm not losing weight? I just didn't understand balance and nutrition, and wanted to learn more. We actually ate pretty healthy in my family Monday through Friday, but the weekends, my dad owned a deli, and we would eat a lot of food on the weekends. And it didn't make sense to me. I thought, we eat healthy. Why am I an overweight kid? But I didn't understand that if you eat healthy Monday through Friday, and you have a freakend, which is what I call a weekend, where you kind of go nuts with food, it can undo all the healthy eating that you did Monday through Friday. So that's an insight that I learned after growing up and going to school and working with people. And I help people with that, because a lot of times people are breaking out a little too much of this on the weekend.
You mean the water?
Then, what was that?
You mean water? People drink too much water? I'm kidding.
Well, that's representing the wine, but it is water right here. But just, yeah, so that really inspired me, just what was going on in the 80s with the whole fat-free craze. And I wanted to really understand more about nutrition and, how come I was eating healthy and I was this overweight kid. And there was just a lot of aha moments, not only in school, but really since school. So many things. I think nutrition, it's not just what you learn in school and during your internship. It's really through meeting other people and talking to people and learning about their experiences. So I've learned a lot over time, a lot of times by more listening than talking.
Tricia, thanks so much for sharing your story, because I always admire people who look back onto their lives and bring that experience forward in order to enhance their lives and learn. I think this is such an incredible learning technology that we have to learn from our past. And so I'm very honored and thankful for your vulnerability. And I'm since you mentioned the fat-free, this craze that is still pretty much going on around, right? There is a lot of people who still believe that there is something about the fat that is dangerous in some way. Can you maybe shortly, I know this is a topic that is probably you can write a book on, but just briefly tell us about fat gluten-free diet and what your take on this. And yeah, let's start with that first.
So back then in the 80s, we were told like cut out all the fat. And the reasoning was that fat has more calories per gram when you compare it to carbohydrates and protein. So it made sense. But the message was cut out all fat, and we need some fat. Fat is essential. And if you think about squirrels, we didn't tell them stop eating nuts, right? But why did we stop eating all fat? So I cut out all fat, and I noticed over time I started to develop dry patches on my arms. And what I learned is that there are essential fats that we need, like the omega-3 fats, and many of us still aren't getting those. So I know here it comes, the fish puppet. So we get omega-3 fats from fish, and fatty fish in particular, like salmon and bluefish and trout and herring. And then if you don't eat fish, then you can get the vegetarian sources in chia seeds and hemp seeds and flax seeds and organic canola oil and soy foods. So we want to get those essential fats, and if we're not eating those foods, we want to think about, we need to get them in somehow to get in those essential fats. And the omega-3 fats are really important for your brain as we age, and then just for various processes in your body. They're anti-inflammatory. So now we're trying to protect our immune systems. We want more healthy fat, and we want to decrease the saturated fat that's in red meat. We really want to cut that red meat intake low.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And also you mentioned this beautiful word balance, and this is every time that I come to your lectures, which I adore being at your lectures, you talk a lot about balance and how this affects our lives. So from your personal experiences, the way that you eat and you feed your family, which you have family, which I admire so much about you. You have family, you write books, you travel, you just super mom. How do you feed yourself and your family? What's your view on managing?
Well, in light of what's going on now with, trying to protect our immune systems, I'm trying to keep my shopping trips very limited, but I'm very strategic with those trips. So I try to make them last a long time. I shopped earlier today. So in the back of my head, I'm thinking when I shop, and I write out a menu beforehand. And anyone that wants that, just you can contact me through Facebook, and I'm happy to give you a link to it's a blank menu planner. And I plan in stuff I still have in the fridge. We still have some cucumbers left over, so got to use them up. That's in the beginning of the week. Then I plan for the whole week and things at the end of that I know will last. So for instance, your winter squashes like acorn squash and spaghetti squash and butternut squash will last till the end of the week or several weeks. And then I found a new love, and this is one of the silver linings. Looks like a shark today. This is red cabbage, and I've had red cabbage on salad bars, but I've never cooked it. And it was available. I know that cabbage will last a long time. So every week we've been doing cabbage because we know it'll last till the end of the week or longer. And I have fallen in love with red cabbage. This is a good one. And look at the color. It's actually kind of a purplish blue. There's something within that color spectrum that may help with memory, may help with brain functioning. So try to get in all the colors. You see my rainbow poster back there. Try to get in all the colors of the rainbow, but make sure when you shop, if you're not shopping much, make your trips last. And by planning fruits and vegetables fresh that'll last to the end of the week, then you're helping your family out. So apples and oranges, we know will last till the end of the week, but your berries, they might not last. So plan to eat those in your menu toward the beginning of the week, and then, have some of these on hand as you get toward the end of your week. Just like broccoli and string beans or green beans, they don't usually last very long for that whole week. So try to cook those up earlier in the week. When I went shopping today, I got fish. So we're going to do salmon tonight. And then, we want to fill in our protein with things like beans. So pigeon peas are kind of fun. What I think a silver lining of this time is let's have more beans, because now we hear there may be meat shortages. Okay, what's the positive of that? Let's eat more beans. Across the world, cultures of longevity are living long lives because they're eating more beans.
I love that message. First of all, purple is like my favorite color. And it's interesting you mentioned that there is actually backup right now in science how purple color helps brain health, because in yoga, we know that eating purple vegetable or fruit is very beneficial for head chakras and for third eye chakra balance.
I'm learning.
So
You have
that we are living in an age where actual science catching up with the knowledge of ancient wisdom, and they backing each other up, and we're just, we're just coming to the age where like we knew this before, we somehow forgot, now we have to remember this. So this is so wonderful that you are, through your knowledge, through in this industry of nutrition, you're bringing this forth. I really, really admire that within you. What do you say in terms of in like the beans? There has been a lot of information right now going on about lectins. Is it lectins that you call them? Lectins within you don't
I don't buy that. I
mean,
you know, one
every day. Like my nutrition is literally beans all the time. So I'm alive, I'm thriving. I think lectins, if they are, they're great for you. So keep eating them.
So one of the things with when you buy beans in the bag, you actually soak them and then you discard that water to get rid of some of the sugars that are in it that can interfere with your intestinal system. So that's why you soak them. The ones that are in the cans, they've already been cooked. When you open them up, you want to rinse and drain them at least twice. You'll get some of those bubbles off and you'll get that extra sodium off. But it's one of the things I really strongly disagree with the paleo diet, because it's doing people a disservice. When you look at cultures of longevity across the world, they're eating beans. So I don't buy into that. I think it's a little bit of junk science. I think it's scaring people away, and I'm saddened by it really, because some of these people promoting that have millions of followers, and they're just putting out a message that is just that I don't agree with, and I don't think it's helping people, especially now. In beans and nuts and seeds, you get a lot of micronutrients that are really good for your immune system and your health. And if we're not eating beans, then what are we eating? More red meat? Well, that's associated with inflammation. And when you eat too much junky stuff, including too much saturated fat, too much red meat, it can put your body in a low state of inflammation. So your body is fighting this low state of inflammation. Then when something comes along like a bacteria or a virus, you're wasting time on junky food that you ate. And we want our body and our immune system to attack viruses and bacteria. We don't want to waste time because we were eating, too much junk, junky stuff. And I'm not saying you can never have some, junk food, but if you are buying it, can you buy better brands of it? Can you get less additives and preservatives when you buy it? And that's what I do. If I'm going to have chocolate, I'm going to look for it to be a darker chocolate, or chocolate doesn't have as much sugar or many additives in there. And I'm not going to be eating it all day, every day. It's one of those special foods to be enjoyed and savored and eaten mindfully.
Mindful eating. Oh, this is so good. This is so good.
Thank you, Yuri. And Yuri, I've learned so much from you over time, and I just cherish our friendship. And I do, want to say I'm so thankful and grateful and appreciative that you have me on today. And I think you're an amazing meditation expert and leader. And for those people that are joining in that might not know Yuri, because you're one of my friends. Yuri is just amazing, and he's had a huge impact on me, and I've learned meditation through him, and I'm working on my own meditation practice, because I think it's not just nutrition for good health. It's moving, and it's meditation and breathing and yoga and doing fun things. There's just the big picture of health. nutrition is one piece, but there's so much more to it.
Yes, it's like, thank you so much, first of all. But yes, I'm so totally with you on this point that it's kind of like integrating and weaving all of this elements together in one picture. And like you said, it's very upsetting when people just stick to one point of view and they not necessarily follow through or really experiencing that with their bodies and their minds and see how this really feels. And you know, this is really interesting because I kind of been that person. I've gone to different camps of nutrition and really experienced it. And
Uh-huh.
coming back to the place where I'm understanding that I'm very much inspired by plant-based nutrition right now. And for this time that I left New York City for almost 2 months already, I've been primarily eating plants only, just kind of like out of curiosity. I was very much vegetarian before, but now I decided, let's see like what it really feels to do just plants. And I think when you study and you really understand how to cook it, how to combine it, you listen to
Right.
like you who say you rinse it even when it's canned, you still rinse it twice. I'm like, oh, I haven't been doing this. I should be doing that. They're just little tips. You always pick up something. And I have to say, like you said, my body has been recovering so fast. My sleep is fantastic. I don't have those strange, you know, like insomnias type of periods. Your body wakes up when it needs to be awakened and your body goes to bed when it needs to be asleep, but also listening, right? And it's also where I'm living right now. I'm living in this tropical paradise where my body doesn't crave heavy foods. And then I know when I move to places that are colder, I kind of want to eat something that is a little bit more nutritious and denser. So I do believe that we all such a small particle in all the elements that we are learning and putting into our bodies. To all of you who do not know Tricia, I highly recommend you following her because Tricia goes to those mindful shopping trips and she has her phone and she talks about different products that she's about to buy or she's exploring and comparing them. And those are so much fun. We've done a few of them together. And at that time, I really thought that that was kind of one of the highlights of our work trips that we take to go and present.
Oh yeah, those trips that you and I were on, we had a ball. I mean, some of those videos, some of those things were just so funny, and we just had such a really good time. And you know, hopefully all this craziness will pass, so we'll be able to go on those shopping trips again,
Yeah.
and have more fun like that. And
And
you know, in the meantime, it's you know it's going to be more of like this, connecting with people like this, and this is a nice way to see you and connect like this. And I think it's good for people to connect with each other and reach out like you did to me. So I appreciate that.
thank you for having time for us. I really appreciate you sharing with us the tips on mindful shopping, right? Because I think a lot of people really speak about mindful eating and how to, you know, eat better. But the first step actually starts in a grocery
Yeah.
store, in your grocery cart. So what do you have any other tips? Like the list I think was just great. And I think a lot of people who discard that just not making themselves favor showing up in a supermarket without a list. So what else? What else would you recommend when people go shopping? What else
Yeah,
should
so knowing beforehand really is key, but you know, when you're planning out, we want to plan colors. So you see the colors there. So you want to get all the colors of the rainbow. You want to think of a balanced diet. So that's half of your plate or half of your cart. You need a lot of vegetables in there, and we need fruit in there. And we want to plan enough so that it's going to last through the week and that we get, I recommend 3 different fruits a day to protect against macular degeneration. And fruit is really important for healthy skin and important for your immune system. Important to protect against cancer in your throat area. So try to get at least 3 different fruits a day, 3 different colors if possible. And I'm not asking you to eat a lot. You don't have to eat a whole pineapple, but like 3 half-cup servings. So some people are afraid of fruit because of keto. And right now, for your immune system, keto is the worst thing to do with all that fat in there. It's just
No,
not good.
because I experimented with that, and I can tell you, my joints never hurt more. I was
Oh,
experimented with that. I was like, what is that supposed to, like, why on earth this supposed to feel good in people's bodies? And it was just, I was like, if your body tells you that, that doesn't mean that it's good. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm there with you on that point.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So shopping, we want to get half of that, we want to get healthy fats in. But we don't need a ton of fat. You need some in your diet. But, what you explained was very interesting. Your joints were hurting. There's probably some inflammation there, and you work out a lot. So, when you work out a lot, we want to make sure we're getting enough protein, healthy fat to repair, and then our sleep. But if we're getting too much saturated fat, and even if we choose healthy fats, if you're eating way too much, like in the keto diet, you're still getting a lot of saturated fat, even if you're trying to keep it low. So, for instance, when you eat extra virgin olive oil, it's really good. And we tell you it's a monounsaturated fat. But there is actually a little bit of saturated in here. There's 2 grams. So if you slug down the whole bottle, if you're on keto diet and you're putting all this on, you're still going to get saturated fat. Now, this is really good for you. It's one of the best oils. I recommend it highly, but small amounts. We don't need the whole bottle at a time. So that's extra virgin olive oil. That happens to be Lucchini brand, one of them that I really enjoy.
You know where it's from? By chance?
This is from Italy.
Yes, because I know that some Italians would highly appreciate that.
Yes. So you want to get a single source oil, know where it's from. So when you buy this kind of oil, this says it's from Italy, Spain, France, Tunisia. Like, where is it from? So be careful with this kind of stuff. Now this, when you and I were out in California, that's California Olive Ranch, and this is extra virgin olive oil. And I met them at the San Francisco Pier, the company. It's good to get to know the companies and the people where you're buying your oil from. And this is Arbequina. That's a cultivar. Cultivar means a type of olive. And I found over time, I really enjoy Arbequina olives. So I look for that. And this is one of the oils. I was excited. It happened to be in the supermarket when I went shopping. And so, love these brands. And in the book I wrote about McAvoy Ranch, I visited them in Florida. I went to the ranch. I looked at how they make the olives. I looked at the trees. I learned about the history. So I think it's important to know the source of your food. Where is it coming from? Who's making it? What love and thoughts, what went into it? And there's more to food than just picking it up from the basket at the supermarket. If we can dig a little bit deeper and appreciate where it came from and whose hands it took to, grow it and bring those trees over to California from Italy. So there's a lot more than meets the eye when you look at these bottles.
Thank you. Thank you so much for mentioning this, because I think when it comes out from mouth of registered nutrition, when you talk about the frequency that is behind the product and behind the company, I think it's so much more valid, because I do believe that everything that we cook, everything that we buy, we vote with our shopping, we vote with our choices, and we literally either contribute to those companies and to our families, or create more distortion. That is kind of going around quite a lot. Tricia, thank you so much on this wealth of knowledge on nutrition. We still, of course, this is still going to come around. I just have some other questions for you. How do you see this time, and what positive changes are you seeing happening to you personally and globally? So then you can kind of like, what's good?
So the good, I keep looking for the silver linings in things, and there's so much good when you look for it. And if something bad happens, I think you try to figure out, use it as a growth opportunity. What can I learn from that? Was it a failure, or is there a lesson there? And there's always a lesson. So the good takeaways for me are the new foods that I'm learning about. Parsnips. I never made parsnips before. I've known about them and that they last a long time. They're a cousin of the carrot. And we've cooked parsnips now, and the red cabbage I mentioned. So some of these foods that we've never had before, we've cooked. So that's been a real beautiful thing. I also personally have, I started my 200-hour yoga certification journey. I started that in January in person at a place out in Pittsfield, Mass, and loved it. And then, you know, this happened, the whole virus stuff. And Yoga Alliance allowed companies to teach some of the certifications now online through Zoom. So I've been really lucky. I've been able to take a lot of yoga certification programs over the weekend. So that's that's come out of it. You'll be proud of me today. I did an L-shaped headstand. I've never done that before. Yes. So, and I see all these amazing.
It's not easy too. It's not easy.
What was that?
It's not an easy one. It's not an easy one.
It's not an easy one, and I don't recommend it if you've never done yoga before. You have to kind of work up to it. But when you see Yuri doing all these fabulous poses, I see you and I'm like, someday I want to be able to do half of what you do. And I was just
plant nutrition that you teach me. It's a powerful nutrition, you know.
Thank you so much, Yuri. And Yuri, you're such an inspiration. So so yeah, that's some of the good that has come out of it. And it, you know, in my family too, it's all a learning experience. And my son is taking a technology class that I'm taking with him right now. We're watching the videos together. So that's been, you know, really nice. We're learning together about what's going on. So, and we're having more family meals because we're all around. So those are some of the, you know, the good things. I think across the planet, I think there's more kindness going around, and I think that we can help that by just sharing our own kindness more. And I do think it is catching. And I listened to this wonderful woman named Amanda. Sergeant Ken had a program the other night, and she said something that has stuck with me. And she said that, I think it's Amanda Brush. I'll have to look that up, but she was just fascinating. She said, and she's a Fit Pro, that we all just have to understand that everyone's doing the best they can. So I think across the world, we're all just trying, and to give people a little extra time and understand that some of us are having it harder than others. And we all have good days and bad days. And one of the things that has come out of this for me, I do more meditation. And I ask Insight Timer to help me. And Insight Timer is one of my favorite apps for meditation. And some days I need strength. So I'll search the word strength in Insight Timer, and then a meditation will come up and give me strength for that day. And it works. I mean, it really does. I asked for focus one day because I felt scattered. I did my meditation. I got focus. Today I did aliveness because I knew I'd be here with you. And I put that word in, aliveness, and it was kind of cool because a meditation came up. It said nothing about clutter, but when he talked about aliveness, he talked about your breath. That gives you aliveness, and it's so true. But then he talked about clutter, and I'm like, oh, I was meant to hear this because I have some piles around the house that really need some attention.
It's really nice to hear this from you because you're the most organized person I've seen. Like your presentations, I know you're showing away, and I'm like, clutter, you? How's that?
Yeah. The piles, you know, I'm involved in so much over the last few weeks that there's just a lot of paper, and I'm trying to stay as organized as I can. But I have to say it's hard. So I just have to have some self-compassion for myself that it's a tough time. Everyone's having a tough time. You'll get through it. And then, you know, you move on. And like I said, you know, a lot of people are going through tough times. And I think it's good to just have compassion for other people and self-compassion for ourselves. Yuri, we have a lot of comments online, by the way. This says 58 comments.
I looked through. Do you know any of these people? Because I don't know who they are. I'm kidding. Thank you so much for watching us. Joanna, Jennifer, Lawrence Biscontini is watching us. Wow.
Wow, Lawrence and Claire. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Claire. Claire is,
Claire, yay. And oh, Lauren says parsnip puree. Ooh, that sounds yummy.
yeah,
And
is good.
Susan Augustine Harvey, she says, what's the name of the olives in Florida? The names of the type. Oh, the name of the type that I like. And I have learned it to be Arbequina, but I might be not pronouncing it well. But that's when I learned about it.
It
That's how it was explained to me.
sounds very right to me.
So yes, good question. Oh, and she has, let me see a little more. Yes, and a California olive bottler. I've been to a few in California, Paso Livo, McAvoy Ranch, and then I met at the San Francisco Pier the California Olive Oil Ranch people, loved them. And then let's see, we have Alyssa saying the struggle is real. Yes, and I'm not sure which struggle, you can fill that in, but the whole struggle is totally real. And let's all just be there for each other. And that's why we're doing this today.
Yes,
All
across
right.
the board.
And
Struggle
then we,
across the board.
and then, hi Janie, Janie's watching. Oh, what is the name of your meditation app? By the way, Yuri's doing these great meditations too. So tune in.
Yes,
Can
yes.
you tell us, Yuri, tell us when the meditations are? Because my followers that don't know you, I want them to tune in and really get to enjoy you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching us. So Tricia's meditation app that she was mentioned is called Insight Timer. It's free for all to play, and there are more wonderful things to listen to. I do regular every week, 11:30 on my wall, EST time. I'm guiding people through meditation that has three components of relaxation, breathing, and mindful sitting and actually working with your mind. So if you are free, please join us every week, 11:30, free for all to play, join, and learn.
Awesome. And Yuri, what you're doing that on Mondays, right?
Correct, Mondays. Mondays, 11.
Mondays, yes.
Thank you. Are you,
Um,
Tricia, are you doing anything live regularly? Like I see you coming from your kitchen on pretty regular basis. Are you, is it something that you do on a weekly basis, teaching?
so I'll tell you this. I go live randomly. I go live when I'm dressed up and I've just done a presentation. I go live after that. It's kind of funny because I'll get people requests like, oh, shoot me a video of you doing whatever. And that day, you know, I'm in my pajamas, like working, and, you know, I don't look like this. So I'm not doing videos like that. So I'm not doing anything regularly, but I'm working a lot doing webinars for various companies, and I do those several days. So on those good days when I'm like looking alive, then I'll go on and do some other stuff. But I'm there with everyone else, like, you know, in my comfy clothes and, you know, just working on at other times. But I'm slowly learning how to get Zoom onto Facebook, and I want to put it together a program with like a read along with my book. So that's something that will be coming about. But I've been working these just really crazy hours, and so I'm trying to, you know, work for my clients. I have a lot of employee wellness groups that I work for, so I'm doing many programs for them, and you know, I want to see where it goes. It's an uncertain time, so you don't know when those will stop, and that's when I can focus a little bit more on the book stuff, and then maybe, you know, the next book. But right now, just trying to balance everything out. So I kind of go on randomly, and I do need to think about that, and you know, maybe go on a little more structured, you know, a certain time each week, just to even answer. I'm getting a lot of questions from people, and I love everyone, but I have like a backup of just so many questions. People like, what do you think of this label? And I want to tell you right now and right away, but I have to work and, you know, handle my client load. And so I'm thinking of doing something where I, you know, just answer like a Q&A time each week, so that I can, you know, give people the attention that they deserve and the gratitude that they're even asking me.
And can I also mention that a part of being such a broad collection of knowledge, of like really updated, up-to-date scientific knowledge, you're also so funny. And I don't know if you all know that you're so funny, but you were just so funny when you teach. It's incredible. I love how through just this humor, which you don't laugh even yourself, but I'm like, she just said this is so hilarious. And like,
I have I have the humor of a 14-year-old boy.
I love
Um,
it. I
it's
think we click on that very, very well. Tricia,
yeah. So I
I want to say
thank you.
Petra Colbert is watching us, so I'm very, very grateful. So incredible people. And Claire mentioned that about mothers, that mothers work and teach from home right now, which is yes, that's
Yes.
I admire mothers. Mothers are incredible, and Mother's Days is coming very soon.
Yes.
You know that because of the Mother's Day and due to Mother's Days, you also will be participating in some other programs that are global. Are you able to like spill some tea and tell us where you are going to be on live?
Yeah, I am so excited for Sunday night at 7:15 Eastern Time. Lawrence Biscontini, who's my mentor, he's been mentoring me for years now. I use what I've learned from him literally every day, especially now lately, the time management stuff I need. But Lawrence is having this wonderful fitness works program on Mother's Day. He has a real unbelievable lineup of people for that day, and I'm on at 7:15 Eastern Time, and I'm just like what you're doing for me. I'm just so honored and grateful and appreciative for you know, for you and for Lawrence to have me. So that's going to be a really exciting day to honor
Yes,
mothers.
it
And
starts pretty early. It starts like I think at like 3 p.m. and goes until 8, and there are wonderful people all over the world
the
that are
world.
connected. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna look forward to listening to you there. Aren't you doing something also for SCW? Is it this weekend
So
or?
we have Virtual Mania is coming up in it's the weekend after Memorial Day.
Mhm.
And I have sessions on Friday. We have a nutrition panel on that Friday. And then I have sessions on Saturday. So it's a power-packed weekend with all kinds of wonderful things going on that weekend. So I'm really excited. And our friend Betty's going to be there too, right? I thought I saw that.
I think she'll be watching us. I'm
She'll be
not
watching us. I saw her mention it,
very
and online. She put out a beautiful video
yes,
recently.
excited
And
about participating and watching it. I think, you know, because it's just like it's hard. I'm like I can barely figure this out myself yet, you know. So,
yeah,
but
it'll
she
be nice to see her.
like she's learning all those technological advances right now that I'm so inspired by her. Yeah.
To be on Zoom, and she's, you know, approaching 90. Um, Fabulous. I love her. She's amazing. So yeah. So it's so I'm very excited that she's been on Zoom, and I'm trying to. I have this friend who I wrote about in the book. He's turning 98 in June, and my next step is to help him get on Zoom because I want him to enjoy, you know, some of these fun things going on. I'm doing a program next week. I think it's a time to embrace innovation and
Yes.
different ways to do things. I'm doing a program for a council on aging or a senior center out in Massachusetts. We're doing it through Zoom. They're taping it and then they're broadcasting it on the cable TV channel. So it's kind of for the active agers that can't do Zoom, they can watch on TV. So it's kind of fun. But, you know, that's another good thing coming out of this, like trying to think about ways to get the message out to people.
And connect. And I think especially for aging community, for active aging community, there's such a potential, right, to be where you are and to get to know people and get inspired by people who are living into their advanced years and thriving. I think this is so brilliant, so brilliant. Who wants to travel? I really appreciate connecting with people right now online, and this is great. And I'm so lucky to share with you some of my garden. Thank you so much
I
for coming to my Aliveness garden today, and I'm so glad to be in your kitchen. Thank you for
thank
sharing your wisdom, and let's connect sometime again soon.
Yuri, thank you so much. I appreciate this so much. I'm very honored that you thought of me, and It's so nice to see that. I feel like I'm there with you with those beautiful trees blowing in the background. So thank you for sharing your time with me today. I'm very honored and appreciative.
Who were connecting with us to join us. Feel free to leave your comments and questions in the thread line, in the comment line. I'm sure Tricia and I will go and look through them and answer to the questions that we can answer or have scope of practice to answer. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tricia. Wishing you a
Thank
wonderful,
you.
wonderful weekend ahead. Can't wait to see more of you during the Fitness Works around the world.
Yes, can't wait to see you. Bye, Yuri. Thank
Bye,
you.
Trish. Thank you so much. I stopped the live. It's recorded. So what I will do, I will send you the recording so you can have the recording. You can have the audio file as well for your own repurposing. All right. So you
Awesome.
can anytime use it. That was so much fun. I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. That was really nice. I appreciate it so much, and it's a joy. It's so nice. I value our friendship so much, and I really care for you a lot, Yuri. I just want you to know that, and I'm always here for you. If you ever need anything, I'm here for you because I think the world of you, and whenever I'm around you, I just sense your kindness and you're just a really good egg, and I value our friendship. So thank you.
Thank you so much for your inspiration. Heart to
Thank you,
heart.
Yuri.
Hug.
Heart to heart.
A wonderful weekend. See
You
you during
too.
that Global Fitness.
Thank you.
Bye.
We'll
Bye.
see you. Bye-bye. Thank you again.